Greetings fellow Whovians and welcome to Timey Wimey Review. Throughout October I will be looking at some of the more scarier episodes and stories of Doctor Who, both from the classic and modern era, and later on this month I'll be asking you what is your scariest moments, episodes or story from both the classic and modern era of Doctor Who. But first, when people are asked what's their scariest episode of Doctor Who, particularly in the modern era, a lot of people would say Blink. But another episode I think that should be held in that same regard is Midnight, which was originally broadcast as part of season 4 of Doctor Who back in June 2008 on BBC One. Just in case you don't know the plot, the 10th Doctor and Donna are taking some much needed R&R on the planet Midnight. Whilst Donna stays at the leisure complex, the Doctor decides to go on tour to visit the Sapphire Waterfalls. To quote the Doctor, taking a big space truck with a bunch of strangers across a diamond planet called Midnight, what could possibly go wrong? Well, it does go wrong, because halfway through the journey the transportation breaks down, and to make matters worse, an unknown entity from outside possesses one of the passengers. What I liked about this episode is that all the characters, however minor, had a role to play. And it also helped that the cast looked quite familiar to British viewers in the UK, such as Lindsay Coulson, who plays Carol in EastEnders. We also had some Doctor Who connections in the form of David Troughton, who played Professor Hobbs in this episode. He is, of course, the son of the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton. However, the highlight of the guest cast has to be Leslie Sharp as Sky Silvestri. She is so creepy in this episode, and it must have been really difficult to rehearse and perform that scene with the 10th Doctor when they're both saying the same thing at the same time. It was so creepy, but really well performed and executed. And I loved that she was like looking at all the other characters and mocking them in a way and just repeating what they're saying. She did a great job in this episode. Also, this is a great performance by David Tennant. Now, you can be forgiven that you're a little bit disappointed that Catherine Tate is not in this episode that much, but don't worry. You wait until Turn Left. Donna Noble, Catherine Tate had a great role in that episode. But back to the 10th Doctor, I really liked his character and how he dealt with the situation in this episode. It showed what the Doctor is in himself. He's an explorer, he likes investigating, he likes chatting with strangers and just being part of that moment. But that's where his character becomes flawed, because when things go south very quickly with the other passengers and he's trying to take charge, they're just not listening to him. They're very argumentative, they're very defensive, and really, they're going to chuck him into space. David plays this role so well as the confident yet very vulnerable Doctor in this episode. And when he was it was very tense. He was holding on for dear life when he does get possessed by this entity, and the rest of the passengers were going to chuck him outside and abandon him, and he's just clinging on with his shoe and just not being able to stop saying what the alien wants him to say. It is just a stellar performance by David Tennant. You have to feel sorry for the character of the hostess as well, the girl with no name practically in this episode. Again, a bit similar to the Doctor. She's there to be in charge of the passengers, but she has just no chance of keeping the passengers calm and collected. They're just not recognizing her authority. But I'm glad that they brought the point across that when they were all getting to know each other at the start of the journey and they were all chatting away and being friendly and nice, that no one really took the time, including the Doctor to a certain extent, to ask how she was. Even the basic of asking her name or just saying hello, basically treating her like a human being. I'm going to give Midnight a TARDIS rating of 7 out of 10. This is a simple but effective story, and the 45-minute runtime just flies by. This is a really creepy element to the story and some psychological scares. This is a solid performance by David Tennant, who really sells how much this adventure for the Doctor shocked him to the core and just the conclusion of this trip. Is it as terrifying as Blink? Maybe not. I think it's fair to say that Stephen Moffat is still the master of scares, but this has to come at a close second and is a testament to Russell T Davies's writing. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Midnight and what I was mentioning earlier in this video. Let me know your scariest moments, episodes or stories from Doctor Who, whether it's be from the classic or modern era, because later on this month I want to do a video to share all your thoughts of what is the scariest moment in Doctor Who. Next time on Timey Wimey Review, the horror season continues when I review the classic Fourth Doctor story, The Brain of Morbius. Until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Please like the video, share the video and subscribe to the channel. And as a good doctor once said, don't do that. Don't. Just don't.